Choices made by individuals or the circumstances they encountered led to committing a crime and landed them in the criminal justice system. The Ministry of Justice places great value on the impact of the personal experiences of inmates and former inmates. These are their stories. What was an important lesson you learned while being in prison?
To always be yourself. Keep pushing forward. Don't waste your time. Always stay busy and live for yourself. Don't live for nobody else because they're not gonna live for you at the end of the day.
Was living for other people something you did before?
Basically, yeah, you did without even knowing it. Subconsciously, you're just living for other people because sometimes maybe a little instinct you might not want to do something, but then you already in it. You check in, let me just go. I can do it anyway, regardless, because I'm already here. Ain't like you on a way to a move, and then after you be like, yo, wait, stop the car. Let me get out. No, you done there, so you're gonna go through and do it. And still not think about the outcome. So again, think about the consequences as well, because it could play a big role in saving your life.
Telling you.
When you think about the consequences.
That's right.
And tomorrow exists.
Certain crimes ain't supposed to be committed, you know? Some crimes was committed, you could work hard for it yourself, you don't have to do it. Maybe some of them, you can't say no, yes, but the biggest thing I learned is saying no to people that no, I could do yes. So for me, I learned a lot of good things in prison. I can't say it was bad. And I learned to stay away from those that ain't want nothing good for me. You understand? And it made me to be a man right now and say, boy, you could go ahead and do what you want. I'm gonna stay right here and I don't care how you look at me and how you watch me. I'm proud of that.
Looking back at your time in prison, does this experience still traumatize you, for example, with nightmares?
We don't call them nightmares, but we call them, what we call them?
Jailbait.
Yeah, jailbait. So like, the little things that irritate you or the guys will do in prison, if you hear it outside now, you'll be like, oh man, I gotta go back to my cell. This time you're outside free on the road. So if I hear a whistle, I'm looking around to see, yo, where's the jig that?
You know? Even hearing his watch clinking now, I could hear, I can see it still. There are certain points like throughout the day when you're in a certain situation and it will give you a flashback. If I go in a kitchen, like say for instance when I started work, I reach in the kitchen, I instantly thought about the prison kitchen because I've been in it for so long and that was the only kitchen I've been in for the last 10 years. So from the time I walk in the kitchen, I was like, okay, I start thinking about the prison kitchen. You know, you go, sometimes even you take a shower, you like, oh wait, the knob changed. Because sometimes, because it's a button, you have to press a button. When I came home, I never really went to the, crap, I have a knob now.
Yeah.
So the little things them is, you create a habit for so long, you can't get rid of it so easy.
You're gone from people locking you in to locking yourself in now. So it's like,
maybe
who you waiting for to go to bed? Like,
maybe he might have it more easier than because he out way longer.
But no, some things still don't like.
Do you have friends in prison? And if so, did you have expectations for them to help you while being there?
Yeah, you got bigger cousins in prison. Like the older ones, like the ones older than me, might have some of them that go to prison for crime and be in there. And I might get caught for a crime and reach in there and my cousins then will look out for me, give me like cornflakes, shot. Like only if you know somebody, you could get help.
Like I told you before, when I came in, I didn't know where I was going or what to do. But I ended up going to a section where people from my neighborhood was. So it was more easier for me because they was already there. So they already established themselves in that section. So they have that
everything, TV, shop, food,
They have
everything.
it. So they can easily look, hold some boxers or hold a shirt, hold a pants, look, wear these slippers, cause you just come, you don't have nothing. So
Look at box of cornflakes, look at pack of shack,
Some
wrappers,
milk,
lighter,
you know.
sodas, look, chips, whatever.
But-
they give it to you.
If an inmate doesn't have that kind of support, how is their experience?
If you
if
don't,
you don't
have that,
you can just eat what the prison.
to be honest with you, if you don't have that, you better look for a job. If you don't want to work, then you're gonna have to take up the life of crime. You ain't gotta wait till hits cast, you know? Which people spending money to get someone else touch, to make that money, to buy yourself canteen or something. Otherwise, you live like a dog.
Or you just be a bula bula.
Wash clothes, wash
Clean
people's
bathroom.
bathroom. Look, to be honest, everybody just jump up and want to do things quick to go to prison, right? Prison is nothing nice. When you come to prison, you got to wash people's clothes. You have to wash tidy. Out on the streets, you never used to wash your mother or brother clothes. When you go to prison, you gotta wash somebody who's not your family clothes. And that person, so wicked, they put in the even down to the boxers, what they wearing.
Dirty, sweaty, draws, you just play basketball.
Okay?
They would make
So,
you wash that.
They will make you wash
What you
that.
gonna do? You can't do nothing about it.
How did detention impact your life?
It had me scared for the first time when I hear those numbers. Cause all the time I've been hearing people joking with me, yo, you gonna get this? I'm like, nah, why? I go home. Gone pose the first time, 25 years. Checking by nobody could still be this case. Gone back again. So now the second time is the real time. So they call 21 years for me, out to the 25. So I checking by, this ain't no difference. They only take out 4 years after this. Then my lawyer comes to me, my lawyer say, yo, they only take off 4 years, but they take off a lot of time too from staying downtown. I spent 9 months downtown. So after the first 30 days, after that, every week was a month or something downtown. So I wasn't really mostly watching it, I was just watching at a big time.
How did it impact your life?
Well, it really did much. The prison didn't impact my life. It's me what impacted my life by wanting to change and being somebody. You understand?
Did you feel like detention was a waste of time?
Yeah, it was a waste. Because if we didn't put in our mind to do what we want to do ourselves, we wouldn't have been nowhere.
Well, for me, I wouldn't say it was a waste, but it impacted me in a way that I had to wake up, I had to grow up, I had to get shit done for myself.
Become a man.
That's how it impacted me. I had no choice. And you can't cry about it because you cry at the end of the day. Tomorrow you're going to do the same thing again.
Yep.
Again and again, it don't make no sense to cry. So I had to grow up. I had to make a change. I decided to make a change for myself, for my mom, because I never allowed my mother to see me in prison. So now, me knowing for a fact that she could never have a memory of seeing me in those uniform clothes. She could never say that. She don't know how I look in prison. So she asked me to come visit, I don't know.
I wanted it like that too, but my mother still come. Like I make body around Christmas time, and around them time we have like special when we get food from outside from different churches and everything. And for my first body in prison, she surprised me, and from there that make me cry. And I tell her like never come back again. So she never came back.
That is be the problem because I've seen it happen with other people when their family come to visit them and how the parents react when they have to leave. They want to go with the child and they cannot go with them. So they can start to cry, inmate can start to cry, and then they can start to leave you thinking, like, shit, where the hell my family be? but you kept them away for a reason, to avoid all of that. You know, you
To avoid breaking your spirit or doing your time, you just leave them behind.
I just cancel all visits indefinite.
You gotta turn off the outside switch in order to work with the inside.
Did you know that traveling when you have a criminal record is not always possible? The USA and Canada are among dozens of countries that restrict entry to foreign nationals who have been convicted of crimes. Did friends come to visit you in prison?
No friends come. And there's where my mother, the reality when my mother used to speak to me about friends, hit me. So like, the people that used to come visit me is like my family, not friends. I don't consider my family my friends. So my little brother, my little cousins and friends wasn't coming. And there's where I think back on my mother a lot. And I see every time I get to speak to her on the phone, I always used to tell her thank you, you know? So,
well, for me, friends didn't have to visit me. We was all locked up. So we see each other every day. So he had nobody to visit nobody because everybody was behind bars. And if somebody like did come to visit, they would have to ask me first or come and tell me, listen, this person wanted to visit you. No, turn it away. That's how far I reached, because I didn't want to see nobody, because I don't want to hear nobody problems. I have my own problems to deal with, and only me could help me in this situation. You cannot help me regardless of whatever I tell you. You cannot help me. What you do, go, but I can pray for you, I can do this for you, I can do this for you. And then at the end of the day,
nothing.
You're still waiting for it.
You will see it up to now.
You know?
What preventative steps do you think can be taken to decrease gang-related activity among the youth on St. Martin?
To be honest with you, I have a lot of children who love to play sports, baseball, basketball, cricket, but they doesn't get the opportunity to.
You'll have to create opportunities.
We have to create opportunities to get these youngsters from going down the gang leg.
See, for instance, like,
I gotta be honest and real with everybody. The children that in gang, majority of them doesn't want to live the life of crime. They just want to say, yo, I am part of this gang. I rolling with this, you know? But if they could get something to do positively, they will be a part of the gang still and doing this stuff positively.
Next.
Or if you can't get them to do sport, everybody walk around, oh, they don't like to work. They give them a chance. Let me see if they don't really want to work. I just work with a lot of my friends that live on a block and those things. They don't work for my company when I get job. And they just work fine for me. So you can't say these boys them don't want to do nothing. Give us an opportunity to.
Another big fact that has played a role in all of that too, with like you say, a child being on the road too, is that parents now, they're busy working. Sometimes it's so hard. You're working 2 jobs, and probably you're a single parent. You can't be staying home with the child because you have to work. Or sometimes you don't have nobody to watch the child either. So what do you think they're going to turn to? They're going to go on the road. They're going to find something to do. You could say, stay inside the house 3 million times. They will go outside.
They need to find something.
They want something to do. And regardless if it's good or bad, they just know, listen, I have pent up energy. I want to be active. I'm going to find something to do. So if you could create an opportunity where they could use that same energy, then you would be way better off.
Like for example, right now, you have 13, 14 years old in high school and these things, they're starting to smoke. You know what happened when you just start to smoke? You know what that lead to? When you start smoking weed and you don't have no job to buy nothing or have nobody giving you money to buy nothing, you know what you end up doing? Stealing people's stuff. You end up stealing, and from stealing, it end up to armed robbery.
Yeah.
You understand? With armed robbery, you're gonna become a lot more.
Do you think that detention serves any good purpose?
Yes.
Yes.
And can you explain?
Okay. Me, to the beginning, a lot of people might point their fingers and blame, like, you know. But you have to do everything on your own. You understand? You don't have to blame people for what you could do yourself. So I can't expect you to get up and hold my hand and do something. I gotta get up and go and do it for myself.
So you're responsible for yourself.
Yeah,
You
you have
learn to
to.
walk on your own 2 feet. You really have to, because in my situation, I know my family already don't have it hard. But after all that time, what would it look like I come back and I go back to live in my mother's house? If I didn't learn to walk by myself in prison and fend for myself, I wouldn't be able to live on my own outside here. I would have had to fall back on my family who already have it hard, and then they would end up having to support me now as well. If I didn't take the time to change and learn how to support myself.
Yeah.
So you learn to walk on your own 2 feet, so that way when you reach back out here now, you can do it yourself. I didn't need nobody. I mean, now you have a support system, yes, but still, they're just there to support you in case you start to fall off track, or you know, they can guide you, show you, okay, like this is where you gotta go.
Put your shirt back up.
Put your socks back up, you know.
So,
but it solves a great
purpose for those who want to change.
Yeah.
But
and be something in life.
If you are around people
that don't want to,
then you completely screwed. The same way you went in, you gonna come out, you know, worse than you went than when you come out.
By law, convicted inmates are obligated to work during detention. The salaries for inmates working inside the prison are a minimum of 1.25 Antillean guilders per hour and a maximum of 2 Antillean guilders per hour. The hourly rate depends on the type of work, whether simple or advanced, that the inmate carries out. However, inmates working outside the prison for a private company can receive a higher salary. An allowance of 50% is received when inmates work on Saturdays, Sundays, or national holidays. These amounts are more or less the same throughout the Caribbean part of the kingdom. The salaries for inmates in the Netherlands are a bit higher, but not much. The starting salary is 90 euro cents. That is 1.6 Antillean guilders per hour. Inmates do not receive their salary in cash, but on their prison account. For safety reasons, inmates are not allowed to have cash in the prison. What did you miss the most about living outside whilst detained?
Well, what I miss most, you see, as a real local boy, you know? So I was missing like my barbecue chickens, my little carnival here and there, you know? The get-togethers, the little parties, missing going watching basketball, playing baseball. Well, a lot of, you know?
Miss performing on stage, recording music in the studio with my other group members, because all them branch off, and you know, when I got arrested, like everything, all music in the neighborhood was shut down when I went away. Everybody stopped doing music, studios was closed. This one went open a little business, this one went away. It's like, when you realize like, damn, you was a glue that was holding everything together, you know? And that is one thing I really miss most of all after getting arrested, was making music with my people.
Now that you're out of prison, is it difficult staying away from temptations?
Well, like we were saying earlier, it's you, you know? Like when you come out of prison, you might see a lot of your friends with jewelry, gold watches, gold chains, gold rings, and you're gonna be checking by, just came home from prison and I gonna need this stuff right away. You know? If you don't have it in your mind by to walk and buy these stuff, it's over with. You're gonna end up stealing, robbing, doing things just to accumulate what other people still saying work hard for have.
For me, the temptation couldn't really bother me because, again, like I said, I work in the prison for 10 years in the kitchen for $2 an hour every morning for 6 o'clock. So I know what hard work is. You know, I know what it feels like to work and then versus the fast money I was getting to the money that's coming in hella slow and hella small. But after learning to save and budget, temptation can't bother me now because and patience plays a big role as well, because once you have patience, you know it's going to come. It's just going to take a little longer.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't master patience, I might have lose my mind inside of there. I know everything that start must come to an end. You know, so temptation coming to me now, I wasn't tempted by seeing the younger generation than me that I left when they was kids. You know, now they driving the big cars, they got a gold on the neck, they got all rings on their fingers. And knowing that I was in that position, I ain't gonna try to put myself back there. I know exactly how it came.
Yeah.
You know, as look now, I don't own no jewelry, nothing. People came to me with offers since I came out, and I was like, dude, seriously, you know where I just come from.
Did it come to you?
Why would I, you know, probably because they have this image in their head about you when you just went in.
So you
think you're still that person.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not like that. People came to offer me, yo, I know how to get cars, and I'm like, dude, I already bought a car. Like, what? But how you do that? Now that alone now, they got him thinking like, this man just came out of prison. How he buy a car?
He must have
I walked and saved my ass off to buy that car. Because I didn't want to go back to the life that was before and how we got cars before. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have no involvement with the law whatsoever. I've been with them too damn long. I don't want to go back to that again.
What difficulties are you facing now that you're out?
Right now, the difficulty for me was work-wise because it kind of difficult. I came out in a restructuring economy, and the whole pandemic hit, so everything, you know, was on a downward spiral. So it wasn't really good for me. I mean, we tried to make it work, but it's really tough. But you can't stop, you can't quit, you can't give up. You got to keep pushing.
Do you feel like it's more of a challenge if one has an ankle bracelet and are also asked for a police record?
Yes, it plays a major role, because from the time they know that, okay, you are an ankle bracelet or you have a police record, or even just hear the fact that you've been in prison for X amount of years, they already don't want you. And that is where the system would now have to come up with a game plan to where have a relationship with certain companies that when an inmate is being released based on good behavior,
he could get a job.
And that could be part of his trial period. Listen, you can work here for 4 months, you don't make it work, we send your ass back. So now, imagine you do 7 years now and you getting the chance to go out and you got to work in order to stay out.
What can be implemented to assist with the rehabilitation of inmates that are going back into society?
When I came out, it was like the almost getting to the ending of the year. I came out like October 10th. So the first 2 months when I came out, I had a little bit of cash that I worked for in prison, could move me around a little bit. So what I did, I went to the chambers of Coma and I opened a construction company, a general work company, exactly, where we do everything. So when I went, like my mother was telling me, like, your brother had one of those already and he closed it down because he wasn't getting no work and this and that and that. I said, I know. But you have to get up on your feet and go if you want to get work. So she said, okay, go ahead, my boy, you do your thing. So the first project I got was Backstreet project, taking up the bricks and putting down the asphalt. I was the subcontractor on the Wingwood roads. We really didn't get nothing much out there, but it was a start. And then, like I said in a meeting before, Hurricane Irma come right after. Like, when we finished September. Irma come, right? Yeah, September we have finished, like October. Yeah, we have finished the project early, like the month before the hurricane. So while we had finished that, the government had called us back because they know hurricane season was coming. And they give us a job in the backyard with Windward Roads again to put a water pump down in the back there. So we had it until the 6th of September. So 5th, we had to close off the work because another day the hurricane was coming. And when the hurricane came, that's when I started to make a little bit of money. Like,
Do you have any future plans now that you're out of prison?
I got future plans there. I want to meet Steve Harvey. That's my future plan. To meet. He's one of my role models.
Okay.
And I really would like to meet him. Because I used to watch him a lot in prison too, not on the TV. And most of the shows, them was like comedies and things. And some of them were like inspirations to me and things. And I learned after it to like always say no to people that want you to do bad. You know? That's one of my future plans to meet Steve Harvey.
And for me, like I said before, I always want to deal with music, so I want to have a fully operational studio / school where I can teach music production and recording. And also, which I never stated before, I want to have a setup, something like this, where I could have a show and people could voice their opinions, like what we're doing right now. You know, I would give people the chance to speak and talk about their pain and how we can avoid to help a younger generation come up without going to prison.
What message do you have for the audience watching?
Our advice to you is when you see crime going to happen, is either you turn your head the other way or you walk the other road.
And as a parent or a child, learn how to say no. It plays a very big part in your daily life. Learn how to say no.
In an effort to protect the welfare and prosperity of the community of St. Martin, the Ministry of Justice strives to uphold and enforce public order, safety, security, and the law. In a bid to discourage the youth from choosing a path of crime, as Minister of Justice, I find it imperative for the various perspectives of crime to be shared. HVB Unscripted shall bring awareness of how choices directly and indirectly affect everyone.